Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Fun Day Friday. There was some speculation about what game would be chosen, but this Friday is going to be History Maker Baseball. Haven't played this in a while. Was doing a 1990 Reds game, a season replay, but History Maker Baseball, and compared to my other games I was playing, other projects, wasn't quite getting the views or the interest, so I decided to kind of put that on the shelf for now. But we're bringing History Maker Baseball back for this particular game. Hello, Kenyon. Good to see you. Happy Friday, of course. And of course, yes, every day is Friday when I'm retired, unless I got something going on that, like yesterday, I had to go out of town, so I did have to do something yesterday with the family. But other than that, we're pretty set. And what I've chosen, these are actually cards that I created um, myself, and using the player creation book that I bought from History Maker Baseball. And we're going to be playing game one of the 1919 World Series in Cincinnati. It'll be the Chicago Black Sox, White Sox, whatever you want to call them, taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Let's make sure we get the outs showing up here. This is Crosley Field. It's a picture of Crosley Field. It was actually named Redland Field before it was named Crosley Field. It's the same ballpark because this ballpark started in 1912. So even though it's on the picture, it says Crosley Field, it's actually was named Redland Field back in 1919. All right, this is game one, actual starting lineups for this ball game. And some things I had to kind of fudge a little bit with this set. Hello, Brian B. Um, First of all, it's the first game of anything with this, so both teams are going to be neutral. There will be no game day checks or anything like that. They're both going to be neutral. Redland Field plays small to right-handers and normal to left-handers. And since there's no hot or cold things going on, I'm letting the second place hitter be the hot batter and the eighth place batter be the cold batter. These are his actual lineups from game one of the World Series. It'll be Dutch Ruther going for the Cincinnati Reds against Eddie Cicotte of the Chicago White Sox. Pat Moran's Reds were 96 and 44 in 1919, and Kid Gleason's White Sox were 88 and 52. Hello, Jeremiah. Good to see you. So I'm not totally buying into the notion that had the White Sox not thrown some of the games or whatever, that they would have been a foregone conclusion to beat the Reds, because the Reds were a darn good team. You don't get 96 and 44 by accident. So I'm not sure. I would have liked to have seen this on the up and up. I'm not buying into the fact that it would have been no doubt about it, White Sox win. I'm just not. Nobody sold me on that just yet, because there are some good players, particularly good pitchers for the Reds. All right, so look at our starting lineups on the score sheet. It'll be Shane Collins in right, Eddie Collins at second, Buck Weaver at third, Joe Jackson in left, Happy Felsch in center, Chick Gandil at first, Swede Risberg at short, Ray Schalk the catcher, and Eddie Cicotte is your pitcher. Maury Rath is at second base. We've got Jake Daubert is the first baseman. We have Heine Groh at third. He's hitting third. We have Ed Roush in center field, batting cleanup. We have Pat Duncan in left. He will hit fifth. Larry Kopp, the shortstop, will bat sixth. Greasy Neal, the right fielder, will hit seventh. Ivy Wingo, the catcher, will bat eighth. And Dutch Ruther, the pitcher, will bat ninth. Now, pronunciations, obviously, I don't know a whole lot about the pronunciations. I'm just going by phonetically what I think is right. But if I mispronounce somebody, just grin and bear it and just try to bear with me. I did make these cards myself, like I said, in the player creation Excel file, and then using the player creation book as a guideline based on their stats and whatnot. And so what I was able to do is make the Reds as the home team in a white background and the White Sox as the road team as a gray background. So just something a little extra that I think kind of adds to the fact that the game's in Cincinnati. All right, so we are ready to go. Dutch Ruther is an ace with semi-control. Umpires for this game. Now, that's one thing that I wasn't able to rate or do anything for. I'm just going to make all umpires neutral. But the actual umpires in the game, Cy Rigler was at first base, Billy Evan at second, Billy Evan at first, Dick Nallen at second, and Ernie Quigley at third. Those were the umpires actually for this ball game. All right, so Shane Collins will lead things off. He's in right field. Kind of one of the guys that you don't hear about much on the Black Sox because he wasn't part of the 8 or whatever, so he was just kind of there. He's going to face Dutch Ruther and underway. That's a 2-3-6. That's double control. He does not have it. However, Collins is eager, so it'll be a ball 2 count. It will not be a walk. Had he not been eager, it would have been a walk. But he is eager, so it's 2 ball count. We'll reboot. 1-4-5. And 1-4-5 asks, is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's not a struggler. So it will be a ground ball to third base, and we have out number 1. So Shane Collins is retired. That'll bring up Eddie Collins, second baseman. He is a designated hot batter in this game by being the number 2 hitter. He's a semi-champion, semi-scrapper, semi-patient with a good eye, and semi-active. 2-6-6. 2-6-6 is a runner on first. No. Is he the leadoff batter? No, he's not. He's going to fly to right. Sorry. Going to fly to right for out number 2. I think I got a little bit of leftover coffee residual in my throat that hasn't gone away yet. So 2 down, and that brings up Buck Weaver at third base. That's a 3-5-6. That's a left-right split chance. Buck Weaver is a switch hitter, so he will get the hit automatically. When you're a switch hitter, you get the base hit. And that is a 3-5-6 lefty-righty split base hit for Buck Weaver. Weaver, semi-active, but with Joe Jackson coming up, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. All right, here is Joe Jackson. To 4-6-6. 4-6-6 asks, does the pitcher have control? He does not. He had semi-control, but decided to die as a no. Is the batter a home run king or a slugger? No, he is not. So he won't strike out. Instead, it's a difficult grounder to the infielder of our choice. We'll just say he grounds to second, and that will end the inning. So Buck Weaver is left on first base to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Sox. We go to the bottom of the first. Chicago nothing, and Cincinnati coming to bat. Eddie Cicotte. I've heard his name pronounced many, many ways, but I think Cicotte is the one I've heard the most prevalent, so I'll go with it. He's an ace. He is an ace with double control. Now, in the real game, of course, to signal the shady characters in the betting world, he hit Maury Rath to start the game, but with his double control, that's not going to happen here. It's a 1-6-6, and that asks, is he a workman? No, he's an ace. He's not a workman. Is the batter a whiffer? No, he's not a whiffer. So he will ground to third, and that's 1 away as Buck Weaver retires Mr. Rath. That result is in red, so we're going to the experience chart for the next at bat. Jake Dalbert is an icon, and so is Mr. Cicotte. So they're double icons on the experience chart. 2-2, it asks, is it a prospect pitcher? No, he's not. If it was, it'd be a fence check on a deep fly ball. Otherwise, it's a pop out to the pitcher. So Dalbert's going to pop it up to Cicotte, and that's out number 2. And that'll bring up one of the funnier names of the era, Heine Groh. You could do a lot with that name, I think. That's a 2-5-6, and it's asking on a 2-5-6, is the pitcher a struggler? He is not, obviously. Is the batter champion or patient? He is semi-patient and semi-champion, and the dot gives it to him. So he will draw the walk. So Heine Groh will draw himself a 2-out walk. And with the double control that Cicotte has, you don't get a lot of walks off him, but Groh did it. And now that'll bring up the cleanup man, Ed Roush. Like I said, if I'm mispronouncing these names, let me know. Hello, Midlife, and hello, Joel. Good to see all of you on this Fun Day Friday. Let me get this ring light off because I think that's being a pain in the butt there. Maybe I can turn up the other light a little bit higher, make it a little bit better, but that glare on that circle was just getting to be a pain. We'll move this glare over here a little bit. How about that? All right, so here we go. Ed Roush. 1-3-3 for Roush. It's the blank for the pitcher. Is he a slugger? He is not a slugger. He's neutral in all categories as far as power goes. So he just flies to left, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Reds. Heine Groh is left at first base. Stranded there. And we go to the second inning. No score here from Redlands Field in Cincinnati. Happy Felsch will lead off for the White Sox here in the top of the second. And since this is 19-19, normally after 3 innings, a pitcher reverts to semi-freshness. But the rule book does say if you go back a ways, like the 60s and prior, you get 4 innings of full freshness and then 3 innings of semi-freshness. So they'll both get full freshness through the first 4 innings. Here's Happy Felsch. It's a 1-1-3. Is the pitcher an ace? Yes, he is. It will be a ground ball to first, and that's 1 away. 2 ace pitchers, so as was mentioned by Kenyon, if we should get operative word, should get a pitching duel. Here's Chick Gandil. That's a 1-2-3, flash and fresh. He does not have the flash quality, so it will not be a strikeout. Instead, it'll be a ground out to short. Easy play there, 2 down, and Gandil is out of there. And here's Swede Risberg, the shortstop. That is a 1-2-4. Asking about control. He's got semi-control. The dot gives it to him. So that will be a ground out to short as well. So 3 ground outs, and the White Sox are done quickly here in the top of the second. So we go to the bottom of the second. And I admit I do not know a lot of the players on the Reds. The names are sort of familiar, but not really. Here's one of them, Pat Duncan. Whoa, 666s. That's bad news. That is definitely bad news. However, it says, is the pitcher an ace? Yes, he is an ace. It's a fly out to right field. He probably took a home run away right there by being an ace. So Eddie Cicotte able to pitch around that 666 and get him out. Here's Larry Kopf. 2-2-3. 2-2-3. Ask is an ace or a star. Of course, he's an ace. So since he's an ace, it's a ground out to short for out number 2. Those ace pitchers can take away a lot of offense. And we got both of them going as starters in this one. Here's Greasy Neal. 2-4-5. Ask is, well, the pitcher's blank. It asks, is the batter a hero? He is not a hero. So he will pop to second base, and that will end the inning as Eddie Collins puts on the play. That result was in red, so the very first at bat of the 3rd inning will go to experience. And this is where the White Sox will have an advantage. Ray Schalk is an icon. Ruther is a semi-prospect. So this is where they might be able to make a little hay on the experience chart, especially if the desired eye comes up as a dot, which it does. So he'll be a prospect. He'll be an icon. 2-3. Prospect pitcher. Yes, he is a prospect pitcher. Momentary lapse in focus. Batter drives pitch into the outfield for a single. So how about that? Ray Schalk will get himself a base hit. And now that'll allow Eddie Cicotte to bunt. Oops, if I can get his card out there, stuck together on me. What History Maker Baseball with their company cards, what they usually do is put the pitcher on pitcher cards. They put the pitching quality and the batting quality on the same card. I happen to just decide to make 2 separate cards, a pitcher card and a pitcher hitting card. So that's what I did. But in this situation, you're pretty much going with a bunt. And bunts are very simplistic in History Maker Baseball. You roll 1d6. As long as you don't get a 6, you're probably in good shape. That's a 4, so that's going to be a good bunt. Out, runners advance. And we'll say the out went to, oh, I can't be short. Let's try something. Come on, give me a different number here. Come on. How many 6s can you roll at one time? 4, So we'll say it's a sacrifice hit pitcher to second covering. So it's a sacrifice hit 1-4. And going to second base is Schalk on the sacrifice bunt by Cicotte. And now that will send up Shane Collins. 4, 5, 6. And the way this pitching matchup is going, 1 run scraped across could be the difference. 4, 5, 6 empty for the pitcher. Is the batter patient? No, he's eager. So he will fly to center field. That is out number 2. And we're going to the chemistry chart. Both teams are neutral on the chemistry. I just decided to make them both neutral to make things more simplistic. And Eddie Collins will have the at-bat on the chemistry chart. That's a 3-5. It says pitching team distance. No, they're neutral, so it's going to be a ground out to short. Otherwise, it would have been a base hit. But since they were neutral, it's just a ground out to short to end the inning. And that's it for the White Sox. They come away empty-handed, get the runner to second, but that's as far as they'll go. We go to the bottom of the third. Still no score from Redland Field. Here's Ivy Wingo. 3-3-6. I believe that's an ace check again. 3-3-6. Yes, Acer Dynamic. It's a fly out to center field. So Wingo is gone. That result is in red. So we're going to the experience chart for the next at bat of the pitcher, Dutch Ruther. He is a semi-prospect, and Cicotte is an icon. So now he's neutral. Neutral pitcher, a neutral batter against an icon pitcher. 4-5. Prospect batter. No, he would strike out. He's not a prospect batter. Otherwise, hard to field infield grounder batter out at first, unless he's a active, which he's obviously not. So the ground ball is going to go back to Cicotte. He had a tough play, but he fields it for out number 2. That'll bring up Maury Rath back to the top of the order. 1-3-4. And a 1-3-4 from Maury Rath. Well, first of all, for Cicotte, is the catcher Gold? No, catcher in this case is Schalk, and he's actually rated his defense. He's actually semi-iron, is how I rated him based on his defensive statistics. So he's not semi-gold. Is the batter a champion? Maury Rath is not a champion. So we got outfield drama, the first outfield drama chart, or drama chart of any kind, really, for the either team. But we got outfield drama, and it's a 4-6 on the outfield drama. And 4-6 asks, is the left fielder iron? No, Joe Jackson is not iron. He's neutral. So he will make the catch. There will not be any single there. It's going to be a line out, and that's going to end the inning. That was in purple, so we're going to the chemistry chart for the first at-bat of the 4th inning. That belongs to Buck Weaver. 3 innings in the books, no score. We do have a chemistry check on this at-bat. Buck Weaver stepping in against Ruther. Both teams are neutral. 2-2, and that's a batting team distance. No, they're not distance. If they were, the batter would ground out. Otherwise, you got a double. So Buck Weaver is going to double. How about that? Buck Weaver singles his first time up. He doubles to lead off the 4th. And now the White Sox might have a chance to break through with that Buck Weaver double. That'll bring up Joe Jackson. He is a hero, a semi-champion. 1-1-5. That's advantage pitcher, though, I do believe. 1-1-5. Ask, is the pitcher fresh? Yes, he is. So it's a pop-up to the infielder of our choice. And whoops, I'm not going to do that. We're going to have a pop-up to third. We're going to pop it up to Heine Grove for out number 1. 1 down, and here's Happy Felsch. That's a 1-2-2. Is he a workman? No, he's an ace. Is he a champion or a whiffer? He's a semi-whiffer. Dot gives it to him, so he's going to nub an infield single with Happy Felsch. So Weaver will take third. Felsch will go to first with only 1 out. They have runners at the corners. First real threat of the game for Chick Gandil. Infield looking for that double play ball. Red's back for the double play. It's a 2-6-6. Runner on first, thrown out, so they pick off Happy Felsch. How about that? That's what the 2-6-6 is all about. Runner on first, thrown out. Some people say you need the Desire die to make it happen. Well, the Desire die is right there. So they pick off Felsch. I don't know what he was doing. He was daydreaming. He's out of there for 2 outs, and now it's going to take a Chick Gandil hit to score Buck Weaver. That was a bad base running play. Don't know if that was part of the fix or not. 2-6-6, the exact same role we just had. There's nobody on first. Gandil's not the leadoff batter, so he will fly to right field. And the Sox turn away empty-handed. Could have been a sacrifice fly right there had there been less than 2 outs. But since Happy Felsch got happy feet and didn't stay put, he got picked off. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no score for Jake Dalbert, the first baseman. Get a 1-2-6. Is he fresh? Yes. Cicotte is still fresh. It's a line out to second base where Eddie Collins makes the play. 1 down for Heine Groh. Semi-champion, semi-slugger. Good hitter. 5-6-6. Is the pitcher wild? No. Does the batter have a good eye? Yes, he does. So he foul tips and he's still at bat. He does not strike out because he had the good eye. So he's still at the plate. Wards off the strikeout and gets to bat again. 4-5-6. Pitcher's blank. Is the batter patient? He's semi-patient, but the dot takes it away this time, so he will fly to center for out number 2. And that results in purple, so we're going to the chemistry chart. Neutral against neutral for Ed Roush. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing all these names correctly. 1-3. Pitching team harmony. No, they're not harmonious. If they were, an infield would make a stab of a liner. Otherwise, it's a base hit. So Ed Roush gets a 2-out single. And that results in blue. So we're going to the right now chart for the at-bat of Pat Duncan. Duncan flew to right his first time up, so he's neutral. Cicotte is semi-cold for giving up that base hit. Now they're both neutral on the right now chart. 1-4. Cold batter. No, he's a neutral batter. If he was cold, he would strike out. Otherwise, big swing connects for outfield drama. So we got outfield drama coming up for the White Sox. And in the outfield, all 4 outfielders are, the 2 outfielders on the corners are neutral. Happy Felsch is actually semi-iron. So they're all neutral now. 2-4 on the outfield drama, and everybody is neutral. 2-4, outfield drama. Center fielder gold. No, center fielder is not gold. He's actually semi-iron. So instead of a fly out, it's going to be a single. Ball slips through for a single. And let's see, lead die of 2. I think the runner just gets the 1 base. Yeah, 1 base. So Roush, even with 2 outs, he only gets the 1 base. So Roush, these things stick here. Roush gets second base on the base hit by Pat Duncan. That result is in purple, so going back to the chemistry chart for Larry Kopf. But first and second, 2 outs. Cicotte trying to bear down and keep the score at 0-0. But on the chemistry chart, we get a 2-5, and 2-5 says batting team dissonance. 2-5 batting team dissonance. No, they are neutral. If they were dissonant, it'd be a lack of hustle. I'm sorry, 2-5 is pitching team dissonance. I'm sorry. Pitching team distance, lack of hustle, most modestly hit ball dropped for a single, but they're not dissonant, they're neutral. So it's going to be a fly out to right. So Shane Collins will get to that because they are not neutral, they are not dissonant. So he was not daydreaming, he made the catch, and that's going to end the inning. So we completed 4 here at Redland Field, and we've got no score. Both starting pitchers will now revert to semi-freshness now that we're in the 5th inning. Semi-freshness for both. So maybe, just maybe, the offenses can get going against semi-fresh pitching. 1-6-6. And that is if the pitcher is a workman, which he is not. It's batter whiffer. No, he's not. So with a ground out to third, Risberg grounds out to Heine Groh, 1 away, and we're going to the experience chart because that's in red. That's when that red result right there, ground out third in red. We sent this to the experience chart. So we go to the experience chart where Schalk is an icon and Ruther is a semi-prospect. So again, possibility of a chance for an advantage for the White Sox. But he's neutral now. Neutral pitcher against icon batter on the experience chart. 3-3 prospect pitcher. Chopper ground out to the pitcher. I'm sorry, 3-3 prospect batter. My bad. Prospect batter. If he was, he'd chop a ground out to the pitcher, but he's not. Otherwise, batter connects fence. He's a scrapper, though, so he can't hit a home run, but he can definitely get an extra base hit. So we go to our micro chart fence. It's a one die roll, but he is a scrapper. So the best he can do is a triple. He gets a 5. It's a double for Ray Schalk. So Ray Schalk, a 1-out double. And now Sakat, not the best hitter for a pitcher, obviously. He's going to step to the plate against Ruther. 3-4-5. That's asking, is the catcher iron? Wingo is semi-iron, but the dot says no, so it's not going to be the case. Does the batter have a good eye? No, he does not, so he will strike out. Strike out Sakat. He's out of there. 2 down, and that's going to take us to the right now chart for Shane Collins. And on the right now chart for Mr. Collins, he is neutral. Ruther is going to be semi-hot because of that strikeout he got of Sakat. So if the semi-hot, that is true, Brian. I will not refute that comment whatsoever. All right, so we are going now. We are now going to the right now chart. If we get the dot, that means Ruther is going to be hot. Otherwise, he's neutral. So he is a hot pitcher. Hot pitcher against neutral batter, 3-5. Hot batter. No, if he was, he foul off pitch until he finds the ones he likes for a single. Otherwise, he flies to left. So since he's not a hot batter, he flies to left. And they leave Ray Schalk at second base to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, no score. Both pitchers are dominating. Here is Greasy Neal. 1, 2, 3 is flash and fresh. He does not have the flash quality, so he will not find that category. So it won't be a strikeout, but it will be a ground out to short as Greasy Neal grounds to Risberg for out number 1. Here is Ivy Wingo. 4, 5, 6. Pitcher is blank. Is the batter patient? Ivy Wingo is not patient, so he will fly to center. Out number 2, we're going to the chemistry chart based on that roll for the pitcher, Ruther, against Sakat. So neutral against neutral on the chemistry chart, 2-4. Batting team harmony, no, they're not. So instead of a single, it's outfield drama. Outfield drama. 55 on the outfield drama. 55 on outfield drama. Right fielder iron. No, Shane Collins is neutral. He is not iron. So it won't be a base hit. It'll be a fly out. And that's in purple again. So we're going back to the chemistry chart. But they do retire Ruther to end the inning. So through 5 innings, we got nothing going on here at Redland Field. We'll be going to the chemistry chart for Eddie Collins at bat here in the top of the 6th. Both teams are neutral. 56 on chemistry. 56. Pitching team dissonance. No, they're neutral. If they were dissonant, pitcher not confident, chooses safe pitch, ripped for a single. Otherwise, it's a strikeout, and it's in blue. And a strikeout in blue means we're going to the right now chart for the Buck Weaver at bat. And this is interesting. Buck Weaver is a hot batter. He's doubled his last time up, so that makes him a hot batter. Ruther just got the strikeout, makes him a hot pitcher. So we got a hot pitcher against a hot batter. A hot time in the old town tonight on baseball right now. 15. 1-5. Cole batter. No, he's not a Cole batter. If he was, he'd watch a called strike 3. Otherwise, batter pounces on pitch and drives a single past the shortstop. So Buck Weaver is now 3 for 3, as he seems to be the only White Sox player doing anything. Maybe he's justifying those claims that he was not in on the fix. Here's Joe Jackson. 115, and that's a freshness check. He is semi-fresh, but the dot will give it to him. And a 115 says a pop up to the infielder of our choice. Say he pops it. We're not going to pop it up to the pitcher. We'll pick somebody else besides the pitcher. Got to be somebody else. Anybody else besides the pitcher will work. And we'll say he pops up to Heine Groh at third. That works. So 2 down. And Weaver still at first base for Happy Felsch. 225. Is the pitcher a star? No, he's an ace, not a star. Is the batter slugger or sad sack? He's neither one. So he's going to single to center field. That'll put Weaver to second base. And so Happy Felsch gets in on the act. A 2-out single. Keeps the inning going for Chick Gandil. It's up to Chick Gandil to bring a run home. Break this tie. Weaver at second, Felsch at first. 2 down. 336. Ask, is the pitcher an ace? Yes, he is. So it's going to be a fly out center field to end the inning. So more left on bases for both teams. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and we still got no score here at Redland Field. Top of the order for the Reds, it'll be Maury Rath, Jake Dalbert, and Heine Groh against Eddie Cicotte, who's now semi-fresh. 336, the same role we just had, ace or dynamic. He's an ace. Actually, nope, my mistake. That previous at bat, we had this role. It was in red, so we should be going to the experience chart. My bad. Almost missed that. So that role will not count. We will go to the experience chart instead. Rath's a semi-icon, and Cicotte is an icon. 1-3 on experience. Prospect pitcher. No, he's an icon pitcher. If he was a prospect pitcher, he would have given up a single, but instead it's a ground ball to third, and Buck Weaver makes the play. 1 down for Jake Dalbert, first baseman. He's 0 for 2. 3-3-4. Back to the regular chart on the 3-3-4. Ace or star? Obviously, he's an ace, so it's a pop up to first base. Those ace pitchers kind of take away a lot of things. So there's 2 down, and here's Heine Groh. 2-2-3 for Heine Groh. Is the pitcher wild? No, he's actually got double control, so he's not wild. Is the batter slugger or utility? He's a semi-slugger, but the dot says no, so he will not line out. So he's going to single to left field. So Heine Groh, a 2-out single for Heine Groh. He's on base for Ed Roush. Chance for Roush to do something. Try to get his team in the lead. 1-2-4 is a control check. He's got double control, so that's going to be a ground out to short. There were already 2 outs. It would have been, well, that would have been a double play anyway with less than 2 outs. But the double ground out, that would have been a double ground out with double control, but he didn't need all that. They just get the third out of the inning, and that's the size of it. 6-4 fielder's choice. Will end the inning. So we played 6 at Redland Field, and nothing's been decided. Top of the 7th we go. It'll be Risberg, Schalk, and Cicotte. Both pitchers still semi-fresh. 3-5-5 is asking, is the pitcher a struggler? He's obviously not. Is the batter a champion? Risberg's not a champion. He'll ground to second, and that's 1 away. So there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Here's Ray Schalk, catcher. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. Even these small dice like to hop. 1-3-6. Ask, is the pitcher an ace? Yes, he is. He's going to strike him out. Schalk down on strikes because of the ace quality of Ruther. Here's Cicotte. 2 outs, bases empty. No sense taking Cicotte out for a pinch hitter. Might as well let him swing. 1-3-4. Gold catcher. Wingo is semi-iron, so he's not gold. Is the batter a champion? No, he's obviously not a champion. He's utility. So we have outfield drama for the Reds. Roush is gold, and Neal is semi-iron. Duncan is neutral. So now Neal will be iron. So we've got iron in right, gold in center, neutral in left. and it's a 1-2. 1-2 on the outfield drama is right field iron. We just said Greasy Neal was semi-iron. The dot says he's iron. So be safe on an error. And it's in purple, so we're going to the chemistry chart because of the purple. But Eddie Cicotte reaches on an E9 to start the, or is this, did I get this mixed up? Maybe that should have been Duncan's at bat. Now I'm really confused as to what I was doing here. No, it was Cicotte's at bat. My bad. It's 2 out, E9. So I was right the first time. Should learn not to second guess myself. So Greasy Neal commits the error. And oddly enough now, in this game where in real world, White Sox are throwing games, the first error that takes place is on the Reds. But we're going to chemistry for Shano Collins at bat. And we get a 55. That could be interesting. See what 55 brings. Both teams are neutral, of course. Pitching team distance. No, they're not. If it were, catcher misses foul ball. Next pitch hit through for a single. Otherwise, it's a foul out to Wingo. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Still no score. And Pat Duncan will lead it off. This is the final inning of semi-freshness for Cicotte. 156. 156 with the pitcher's blank, it asks is the batter a whiffer. He is not a whiffer. So we got outfield drama for the White Sox. And in the outfield, Felsch is semi-iron. The other two are neutral. So everybody's neutral. 2-3 on outfield drama. 2-3 outfield drama. Center fielder iron, yes. No, I'm sorry, he's neutral. The dot, if it was a dot, it would have been an error. But it's not an error. He will make the easy fly out. So this time, Happy Felsch not going to drop it. Makes the catch. No score. Still in the bottom of the 7th is Larry Kopp. The question is, will somebody score a run? 1-2-5. And on a 1-2-5, it asks, is the pitcher a struggler? He is not. Is the batter patient? Larry Kopp is eager. He's not patient. So he will ground to third. He's definitely not a whiffer, so he will just ground to third for out number 2. And that'll send up Greasy Neal. 1-3-3, blank for the pitcher. Is he a slugger? Greasy Neal is a scrapper. If he was a slugger, it'd been a home run, but he's a scrapper, so he flies to left. And that will end the inning. So nothing doing through 7. Both pitchers lose all freshness. Actually, since they're pitching a shutout, they maintain semi-freshness through the 8th inning and possibly the 9th if it goes that far. Here is Eddie Collins. Collins is 0 for 3. 1-5-6. Is he a whiffer? No, he's not. We got outfield drama for the Reds. Blanks, that means that Greasy Neal is neutral, Duncan is neutral, and Roush is gold. But we got a 66. That could be interesting. 66, right field iron. No, the dot did not come up, so Greasy Neal is not iron. It will not be a double. It'll be a routine flyout. So Eddie Collins is out of there. A very fortunate roll for the Reds to avoid that dot, which would have been a double. Here's Buck Weaver. 3-5-6. He's going to do it again with that left-right split. Both left-right splits have come up for Buck Weaver, and they've been successful since he's a switch hitter. He is 4 for 4, is Buck Weaver. He's aboard, and that'll bring up Joe Jackson. 2-6-6, but he's going to get picked off first base again. Another pickoff at first base, as again, that 2-6-6 says runner on first thrown out, and the dot is there. So they're going to pick Buck Weaver off, try to get too much of a lead, and they pick him off. Second base runner by the White Sox to be picked off. They picked off Felsch in the 4th inning. They do it again here in the 8th. And now Jackson will bat with the bases empty. 4-6-6. Control pitcher, no. Home run king or slugger. He's neither one, so it'll be a difficult ground out. And we'll just say he grounds out to the pitcher, Ruther. Why not? So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Question is, will anybody score? This is 19-19, so these pitchers can go for a while. Here's Ivy Wingo. 2-4-4. Ask, is the pitcher an ace? Yes, he is. It's a fly out to center field. Boy, the aces stop a lot of stuff there. Fly out to center. Ruther is your batter. But the way he's pitching, you certainly hate to take him out. Pitching a shutout through 8. But they're going to make the move. They're going to take a chance. They're going to take Ruther out of the game and bring in a pinch hitter. And this is who they have available. They have Sherry McGee, Jimmy Smith, Bill Raridan, Rube Bressler, or Hank Schreiber. Those are the guys they have. None of them are very good. The best they have is Jimmy Smith, so that's who they'll use. Jimmy Smith will pinch hit for Ruther, and then they will need a new pitcher in the 9th inning. So Jimmy Smith, a switch hitter, will pinch hit against Seacott. 2-4-6, control pitcher. He's double control, so not only will Jimmy Smith ground out, Maury Rath will ground out as well. And that will end the inning. That's where the double control comes in very handy. You get 2 outs in 1 shot. And we go to the 9th. No score. We'll need a new pitcher for the Reds as Ruther's going to go 8 innings. He's going to give up, let's see, 4, 6, looks like 8 hits. 4 of them went to Buck Weaver. No runs. Let's see, did he walk anybody? I see no walks. Didn't strike out many either. 1, 2. I've got him for just 3 strikeouts. And now the Reds will have to go to the bullpen. They've got right-hander Ray Fisher, right-hander Dolph, I guess it's pronounced Luke or Lukey, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Roy Mitchell, a right-hander. And then they got a left-hander, Ed Gerner. So coming up for the White Sox is all right-handed pitching, so they're going to lean to the right-handers. All of them are either aces or semi-aces. So they're going to go with Ray Fisher, semi-ace Ray Fisher. He will get the call out of the bullpen. So Ray Fisher is on to start the top of the 9th. No score here in Cincinnati. It is Happy Felsch time. See what Felsch can do. He's actually 2 for 3. Well, we got to re-roll everything because that sire die popped out. We get a 1-4-6. Does the pitcher have flash? No, he does not. Is the batter a champion? No, he is not a champion, so he's going to ground out to second. The play is made by Maury Rath, 1 away. That'll bring up Chick Gandil, first baseman. Gandil, 0 for 3. 2-4-5. Pitcher blank. Is the batter a hero? He is a hero. So Chick Gandil strokes a 1-out base hit here in the top of the 9th. Chick Gandil brings up Swede Risberg. See what Risberg can do. We get a 5-6-6. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter have a good eye? No, he does not. He's going to strike out. So Risberg out on strikes. And that'll take us to the right now chart because that was in blue. When you get the 5-6-6 strikeout, that's in blue. So we're going to the right now chart for Ray Schalk. Schalk struck out his last time, so he's cold. And, of course, Fisher is hot, being he just struck out the previous batter. So cold batter against hot pitcher. 1-3 on the right now chart. Cold pitcher, no, he's a hot pitcher. If he was cold, he'd hang a pitch and it'd be smacked to center. Otherwise, it's a fly out to center. And that's going to do it for the White Sox here in the top of the 9th. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Cicott's still in there. He is scheduled to lead off the 10th if it gets that far. So they're going to try to get him through 9 innings. He'll be facing the heart of the order, Dalbert, Groh, and Roush here in the bottom of the 9th. Get a 1-2-6, and that is asking if he is fresh. Desire Die says he's still fresh, and that's going to be a line out to second base. So 1 away for Heine Groh. 3-3-4. That's asking, is he an ace? Yes, he is. Ace or star. So he gets him to pop it up to Gandil at first base. Boy, I thought there'd at least be 1 run in this game. Who knows? Might be here till Thursday trying to get the run across the plate. 1-1-4. Is he fresh? No. Desire Die says no, so he's not fresh. Is the batter sad sack or patient? He is neither one, so he's going to single to right field. So Ed Roush gets himself a base hit. It's a 2-out single, taking us to the chemistry chart for the next at bat. But Ed Roush does single with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Pat Duncan on the chemistry chart. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. So chemistry chart, both teams again are neutral. There are 2 outs. Did put that over there. 2 outs and Roush at first base. 2-2 on the chemistry chart. Both teams are neutral. 2-2. Batting team dissonance. No, they're neutral. They're not dissonant. Batter not focused reaches for an outside pitch for a ground out if they were dissonant. Otherwise, it's a double. So how about this? Could this win the game? A double off the bat of Pat Duncan. Look at the base running. The lead die is a 2. And it says here, active runner third scores on runners advance 1 base on singles, 2 bases on doubles. Active runner scores from first on doubles. Active runner Roush. Is Roush an active runner? Roush is semi-active, so we need to decide or die. If this comes up as a dot, he will score from first, and it's a walk-off double for Pat Duncan. If it's a blank, we got second and third, 2 outs. And that's it. Ed Roush races across the plates, beats the throw in, and the tag by Schalk. And the Cincinnati Reds walk off the Chicago White Sox 1-0 on a 2-out double off the bat of Pat Duncan. He drives home the run. Eddie Cicotte takes the loss, going 8 2/3. He did pitch a complete game. Fisher gets the win with his 1 inning of relief. He gave up a single, nothing else, with a strikeout. So how about that? For the Reds, they beat the White Sox on a walk-off fashion. Let's see how many hits Cicotte gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got him for just 5 hits, whereas the White Sox got 9 hits. So 5 hits and a run, which was earned. Cicotte walked 1. Didn't strike out anybody. No strikeouts. He takes the loss. Left on base. White Sox left a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left on by the White Sox. And it would have been 10, but 2 guys got picked off. So they left on 8. Reds 1, 2, 3, 4. They just left 5 on base. And this one belongs to the Reds, as Brian B. would say, even back in 1919. Pat Duncan, the double, and look at it again. It was a 2-2 result on the chemistry. It says batting team distance. They were neutral. They were not dissonant. So it is a double. On a lead die of 2, which is what we had, it says active runner scores from first on doubles. Roush, being the semi-active runner he was, needed the desire die. He got it, and they walk it off to win it here on Fun Day Friday, as the Reds beat the White Sox 1-0. I mean, when I made these cards, I went by, the how-to guide based on their stats. Maybe these pitchers are just too darn good, and that's why he couldn't get any runs. I don't know, but it was I like creating cards. They're kind of fun in a way. If you do too many of them, it can be a chore, but just to do 2 teams is kind of fun. So we did have that. Umpires never even factored into the game, so it's a good thing I didn't worry about umpires too much. But there you go, 1-0. Favor the Reds as they walk it off. 1-5-1 for Cincinnati. 0-9-0 for the White Sox. 9 hits, but boy, poor Buck Weaver was 4 for 4, but including a double, but just couldn't get anything going. Didn't help they got picked off in the 8th inning either. Duncan 2 for 4 with that double to win the ball game. So I'm not sure you give the player of the game to, but he'd be a possible candidate right there, I'm sure. So we'll have to wait and see. Sparky Game 4 will be Sunday night, most likely. Right after RJL finishes his game, I'll probably do that, Game 4. I realize that History Maker Baseball is not everyone's cup of tea, but as part of Fun Day Friday, I thought it would be worth a look since I haven't played it in quite some time, since I was doing the 1990 Reds replay. So I thought I would do that. And I was trying to figure out what to do, and then the thought hit me to create these cards for the 1919 World Series. So that's what I did. And I did them both ways. So in case you're curious, it only took an extra, copy and change in Excel. But I made Eddie Cicotti in his home jersey as well. And then for Cincinnati, I want to look at Maury Rath. I made Maury Rath in his road jersey in case I wanted to try to do a full series on this thing. I got them both ways here to give you the kind of feel about who the home team is and who the road team is, because in generic History Maker Baseball, both cards are white, so you really don't get that feel. At least I don't. But when I make one of them gray or some other kind of color, it kind of just helps. Just my weirdness, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to do it. Yep, occasionally, Brian. That's kind of my thing now, is I like it kind of occasionally. It's something more that I would do offline. If I want to do a project, I would probably do it offline and do a story and whatnot. If I wanted to create a story, maybe fictionally or whatever, I don't know. But it is interesting. Interesting the way they have it rated and whatnot. But Cincinnati Reds take out the White Sox 1-0 from, it says Crosley Field on here, but really back in 1919 it was named Redland Field. Same field, same ballpark, just different name. And so there you have it. Poor Eddie Cicotte pitched a heck of a ball game, got no run support, and then got a bad break on that chemistry chart. So that's going to do it from here. Cincinnati Reds take out the Chicago White Sox 1-0 on a walk-off double from Pat Duncan, scoring the speedy Ed Roush around from first base with 2 outs. And that's going to do it. Yes, I did, Kenny, and that was way back in the day when I did that. I think I had a team ID Jester and a team, I forget who, maybe one of the Earls or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, we had Ron Juckett was the ace pitcher of that team. We had the Dead Ballers against ID's team. So that was fun back in the day. Very, 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 very much fun. That's what this game's about. This game's about fun, which I thought was why it'd be perfect for Fun Day Friday. Now, next Friday, it'll be a different game. It won't be this one. It'll be something else. Not sure yet. I got a couple games in mind that I'm thinking about that I haven't done yet. And again, it does not have to be baseball. I've played some other games besides baseball in the past on the channel, so it could be one of those games as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be baseball related. It could be a different game, or it could be a computer game. I've done some computer games on the channel before, so it could be, one of the computer games. Never know. Just have to tune in and find out. So 2 games tonight, or 2 games today, I should say, which I thought was pretty good. Tomorrow at noon, assuming life doesn't get in the way, I'm certainly hoping it does not. Noon tomorrow will be the NBC game of the week on Season Ticket Baseball. I'm going to verify who the teams are. I'm thinking it's Boston and Kansas City, but don't hold me to that. It could be somebody else. Because I know the NBC game of the week, I think, had them back to back, and I think I swapped one of them out. I'm not sure which week I swapped out. So I got to figure out if it's this week or the next week that I swapped it out. Let's see. It doesn't really say here. Okay, it is Boston and Kansas City from Kansas City tomorrow. And the second game would have been a repeat in Fenway, but I canceled that out. I took it out and swapped to the alternate game on Saturday, which is the Phillies and Cincinnati from Riverfront Stadium. That'll be the July 29th game. So the July 22nd game on that Saturday in 1978 will be Boston and Kansas City on season ticket baseball. And then the following game to finish out the month will be Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Those will be the next 2 Saturdays that are scheduled. And of course, if you missed the Stratomatic game this morning, it was very interesting between the Rangers and the Yankees. Very interesting game, wild game to say the least. So if you haven't checked that out, you certainly have the opportunity now to check that out at some point. I don't know if I'll do anything tonight. I've already had 2 games today already, so I might rest up and get ready for Saturday afternoon. Haven't decided yet. If I feel like playing something tonight, I might jump on and play something tonight. I don't know. I have to wait and see. I don't want to. There's a possibility, actually a probability, I guess, of overexposure of being on here too much and people getting tired of seeing you. So I don't want to run that route. I'd rather maybe space it out a little bit. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Depends on what I feel like and what's going on. So I do appreciate everybody spending part of your Friday lunchtime with me on Fun Day Friday. I know there was probably a certain percentage of people that when they saw it was History Maker Baseball, they kind of frowned and turned away. And that's okay. If you don't like History Maker Baseball, hey, you like your own games. So, but part of Fun Day Friday is playing games. And there's going to be some games I'm playing on Fun Day Friday that I don't particularly care for. But I'm going to play them anyway because it's Fun Day Friday. And we're going to have fun playing these games. That's the whole point of the hobby. So, like the ultimate theologians, the Rolling Stones said, you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. So that's what we're going for. So if I don't come back tonight for another game, I will hopefully see you guys at noon on tomorrow. Tomorrow's date on noon for NBC Game of the Week season ticket baseball between the Kansas City Royals and the Boston Red Sox from Royal Stadium in Kansas City. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.